Hey, good morning. My name is Sheikh Ishtaq Hussain, student number S1023249, serial number H13. I'm here to discuss a given task of me, chapter 5, motivation and work behavior under human resources management. So, if we start about motivation, let me start with from me. Like, when I was start working, I really don't bother about a raise in a salary or a good incentive rewards or incentive traveler because I am a self-motivated man. So when I start working, everything is good. I have a passion of working and I'm doing with of my willing. So I really don't bother about these things. Maybe because of this only I got a promotion very fast in each and every field of mine whenever I join whichever companies. So in this chapter, the learning outcomes is understand the difference between the management and the leadership in an organization, understand the leadership threads with the threads theories, understand various leadership theories. So there are the difference between managers and successful leaders. In the ideal world, every employee want his manager to be doubled as a leader. Unfortunately, they don't, because it is a common misinterpretation between managers and leaders, because these roles do have the followers, but for a different reason. Because a manager is a person who attains the leadership due to hierarchy. Like he used to be forced to do this thing because he's hired to do the thing. He hired on that hierarchy to do his task. Basically, it was a job description of his or her. But a leadership is a person who but a leader is a person who has their own ability to influence a group towards the achievement of goal, or a leaders to be a leader leads by trust, like a leader lead by example as well. So he just take a stand of himself or herself and do his task on behalf of his manager. So the next is there's an introduction, which the communication is essential to share ideas and information amongst individuals in the organization contacts. It is even more crucial as the right ideas and the information will be lead to better decision making. In this process, these are the four functions of communication process. So they break into 4 points for the communication process, which is control, motivation, emotional expression, and information. So there is a qualities of versus in between managers and leaders. We have a good tabular form here, stated that managers is based focus on objective and leaders focus on people. Managers do think right and leaders do the right thing. Manager have a plan for the day or whatever the task he has been given, and leader inspired. Managers organize, leaders are influencer. Manager instruct, leaders influence or lead by example. Manager follow the vision what the employer want him to do. Leader communicates and delivered out of it. To be a successful manager, you need to be a good team leader. But for a good team leader, you don't need to be a manager. So these are the differences in between managers and leaders. So there are the theories which we followed from leadership theories, John Adair leadership models, Blanchard theories, which is Hershey and Ken Blanchard theories. John Adair leadership models are like cut into three main categories, which is tasks, team, and individual. Recognize the healthy interaction between the team is tasks, team, and individual is vital, as per the John Adair leadership. So whenever we start the project, the leader thinks about these three categories of the interaction between the group, which is tasks, whom to give, how to give, what are the timelines, what are the deadlines for the task. Then team, how will the tasks to be divided to the team, amongst the team, how often we will meet, how often we will meet to discuss about the progress and how we interact with each other. Then individual, are the individuals in the team working on this and that. If there would be anyone interested who can hold that team, so the team leader can focus on multitasking. So basically the individuals are for that. It has to be listed by the team leader. So the John Adair leadership modules goes into categories of 3 level of leadership, which is team leadership, operational leadership, and strategic leadership. So these all 3 leadership categorize as per their hierarchies. Like team leader is the very known and known group of their small group of team. Then goes to operation. They have a big picture, a middle hierarchy, who just see who just analyze the fostering and healthy business culture and climate. Operational leadership creates and implement policies and procedures, set standard process of operating process, SOPs, and assign a good incentive plan to the employer. What would be the next? And then comes to strategic leadership, which is like almost they are a high level of hierarchy, and they are always focused on the future plan. What futures can be given, or what futures can hold for him, for his company. If there would be some deductions, so they are come with the new business plan, consolidation of the data of the year, or they compare YOY, which is year on year. I don't want to go into KPIs now. So it's meaningful objective for employee in the business. The business goals are to be translated. So, and the next is Harsey and Blanchard situational theory, which is Paul Harsey. He come up with the situational leadership theory. Was created by Dr. Paul Harsey, a professor and author of the situational leadership, and Ken Blanchard, author of the bestseller 1 Minute Manager. So they stated, instead of using just one style, a successful leadership must try 2-3 styles of leadership towards the team. So basically they want leader should be able to place more or less emphasis on the task, or more or less emphasis on the relationship with the people. The leading depending on which needed to get the job done successfully, which anyways it is happening slowly, gradually. But if you apply this theory to your work, it would be much easier to find yourself in a good position of a work where you reach till your success or not. So according to them, the leadership style they categorize into 4 major parts, which is telling, selling, and participating and delegating. And they give a small codes for that, like S1, S2, S3, S4. So the leaders tell their people what to do, how to do, which is telling, and provide information and direction, like cascading the information from the employer to the employee, which is selling. So they are most focused on tasks done, getting tasks done. Then the part 3 is participating. So participating, what I told, that leadership has to be lead by example. So he will do it first, and then he'll let you know that if I can do it, then you can also do it in a positive way. Then delegating. Delegating is like if a leader doing 3-4 tasks together, which is multitasking. So he has to delegate one of a person from each group as a sub team leader. So whenever he discuss about the progress of the task, he will talk to one person only. He don't want to talk to like the entire group. So this is called delegating, which is basically more concerned with developing team members and self-growth, abilities to work independently. So according to them, knowing which use style is largely depend on the maturity of the person. So again, they comes up with the maturity levels also. So how you task your team member as per the maturity. Like for example, he is tenuring 10 years, he's tenuring 5 years, he's just new to the group. So according to them, you have to task assign the work what he has to be done. So you have to analyze the knowledge, the skill, and the confidence of the person to give a task, which is called maturity. So he also categorized into 4 points: M1, M2, M3, M4. So these are just pointers. Like for example, if you are at the bottom level of the scale, a lack of knowledge scale, you follows under M1, then you have to make sure that you analyze his guy and you give him that task only he would be able to do it. You don't give any Tom, Dick and Harry business, so he will turn into disaster. Then the M2 is the level follower, might be feeling to work on tasks, but they don't, like, they want to do a task but they're not enough confident about it, or they don't, and they were not able to complete the task on timeline basis. Then M3 is the follower who's reading, willing, help with the task. They have more skills than M2 group, but they are still not confident. So they are better than the M2. Like, they know how to work, they know everything, they will give you on timeline also, but they are not confident that. And the M4, which is, I'm talking about the who are ready to give you commitment that this is my work, I will give it to you on this time. Basically it's a team leader only. So they also create one tabular format, which is maturity level and appropriate leadership style. So which maturity level goes under which leadership style. So M1 is low maturity, which goes under S1, selling, telling. M2 goes to selling, coaching, which is medium maturity, limited skills. M3 medium maturity, higher skills but lacking confidence, participating and supporting. M4 is higher maturity, high delegating. So they believe that all the team members aren't created equal. Hershey and Blanchard argued that leaders are more effective when they use this theory to do their task and rate them on M1 to M4 maturity and assign the tasks as per the scale of their assignment. So the another theory is McGraw theory, X and Y, which we already done in our previous lecture, I think OBHI, operational behavior of organization, I think. Then Vroom expectancy. So McGraw is actually a Douglas McGraw, an American social psychologist. Sorry, he presented his theory in his 1960 book called The Human Sides of Enterprises. And he come up to X manager believes employee or Y manager believes employee need to be controlled, don't like work. But basically the guy who, like, you have to be pinpoint every time, like, this is your work, you have to this, you have to come on time, you have to go on time, you have to be smart enough to do this, like, you have to be really pull their socks up all the time. They comes under X manager believe employee. And the good people who, like, always to be stand in a good way on behalf of manager, want to work, want to be a team leader, want to see himself in the future of the company. So there comes under Y management. Okay, from expectancy theory assumes that behavior results for conscious choice amongst alternatives who choose purpose. It is maximize pleasure and to minimize pain. Okay. Vroom realized that an employee performance based on individual factors such as personality, skill, knowledge, experience and abilities, which is again come related to Hershey and Ken Blanchard theory, situational theory. Again they linked up with that theory. So the performance and motivation are linked into the personal motivation. He uses the variable expectancy instrumentally and valence to account for this. So expectancy believe increase effort the leader to increase performance. That is, if you work hard, then this will be better. This is effective by such as having the right resource available. Example, raw material. Like, he has to be touch in their backhand people also to have everything to be placed. So he would give you his or her task on time and to be a very successful way. Having the right skill to do the job, having a good person, having a good knowledge of analyzing the people. Having a good decision making ability to assign the task first, and then have a good integrity, having the necessary support to get the job done, example supervisor support or correct information on the job. So the room expectancy also comes into 4 categories, which is instrumentally, valence, or expectancy, or E greater than P expectancy, or P greater than O expectancy. So it works on perception. So even if an employer thinks they have provided everything appropriate for motivation, and even if this works with most people in the organization, it doesn't mean that someone won't perceive that it doesn't work for them. Someone there who would say that this is not correct, and this is the criticism you have to take, and you will have to be better considering this, because this thing will give you a good future or strength to grow, which was I follow. So he giving the example also, I recycle paper because I think it is important to conserve resources and take a stand on environmental issues. I think that more effort is I put recycle, the more paper I will recycle, and I think that the more paper I recycle, the less resources will be used. Okay, here's we come to the end of a chapter. That's all from me, and there would be 2 questions as per the requested. So my first question is the team leader, like if there would be a team leader, why there is a people like don't want to stand in their own confidence level to be a team leader? Why we always have a one team leader in a group or in an organization? So the answer of this question is like, I think the team leadership is inherited in each and every person. The only thing is that there would be a correct time to hit that trigger in that person, and he will stand for himself to do his task on behalf of his manager, or he can show some confidence that I can do it, give me a chance. Because team leader is, I know that team leader is not everyone's job. Not everyone can take charge. Some people are good in talking, some people are good in doing tasks, some people are good in physicals, some people are good in Excels, some people are good in computers. But it is not that difficult to learn or understand these things. These are the very basic things. Because when I joined my first company, I don't know anything. I was so excited, a young boy. I think I was 16 years old at that time when I joined my first company, which is an international brand from Normark. It's an artificial company. But when I started working, first of all, I was very young, so I was very motivated and very excited to start working with a good brand, which I known from a very long.